Final.
Come, championship bound, baby! Woo! Big up, baby! Woo! Here, man. It got a little crazy out there, but we made it through.
We're gonna keep stacking the day, so see you in the championship.
Bow, bow, bow! Let's go!
When Jacy Sheldon and the Connecticut Sun left Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson hurt on the floor on May 30th, the dirty plays went unpunished. The Indiana Fever remembered everything, and when Sheldon poked Caitlin Clark in the eye during this rematch, something snapped because Sophie Cunningham was about to deliver the most satisfying flagrant foul you've ever seen. If you support the Fever, comment down below. CC and Spicy Sophie, let's go. It was chippy. Sophie Cunningham suffered an ankle injury during the last time these two teams played, and she also lost part of her front tooth. She made contact with Jacy Sheldon as King Park completed the triple. But what people don't talk about enough is how hard it takes to be that good. She has spent hours honing her skills, retreating, firing, and hitting so she can do that. In the picture, she almost looks you in the eye. This is the Indiana Fever VASB Connecticut Sun game on May 3rd. The game began normally enough, just another WNBA team versus WNBA team battle for position, but the Suns' level of physicality went beyond competitive to dangerous. You could sense the tension building from the first tip. Let's talk about the physicality for a second. Last night, 2 Indiana Fever players were hurt by the same player from the Connecticut Sun, Jacy Sheldon, and I tweeted about it. She was playing so recklessly. I don't mind players being aggressive, but there's a thin line. Both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham suffered contact injuries as a result of playing aggressively and recklessly. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on someone's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Sophie Cunningham went down first with what appeared to be a deliberate hit. The contact was too hard for what should have been routine basketball. And Sydney Colson was hurt in another dubious play that left everyone wondering what was going on outside. The worst part was that Jacy Sheldon was directly in the middle of both incidents, playing with an aggressive style that makes your blood boil. They weren't they weren't ACLS, they weren't Achilles, they were contact injuries caused by the same player. And the WNBA just brags about how physical the league is, saying that's just the way it is. It's not good basketball, and we've seen a lot of injuries, including Caitlin Clark being thrown to the ground last year, Angel Reese getting clotheslined, and Paige Becker's out with a concussion, chucked to the ground. The players keep doing it because the referees are letting them. If you're a physical player, why wouldn't you keep doing it? This is where the college history enters the picture. Sheldon and Clark had been at odds since their time playing Iowa versus Ohio State. Sheldon made it her goal to get under Clark's skin every time they faced off on the court. She would follow Clark everywhere, bump her on screens, and slander her during dead balls. This was no longer just basketball. It was now her mortal enemy. Caitlin Clark's bitter rival, Jacy Sheldon, was taken out by the referees that Mayday seemed to overlook as if they were watching a game that was entirely different from everyone else's. Hard fouls went uncalled, dangerous plays were disregarded, and Clark had to watch her teammates get hurt while Sheldon left without even a warning from the officials. The Fever put up a strong fight, but lost that game 85-83. But more significantly, they lost 2 important players to avoidable injuries. This is a reckless play. This is reckless. It's dangerous. There is no, and this angle makes it look even worse. For example, Sid Colson is between her and the ball. Jacy Sheldon is actually between her and the ball, and she dives through her knee. But it wasn't even called as a foul. You could see it in Clark's eyes after that loss, the way she looked at Sheldon during the handshake line, the way the Fever would remember this game, remember who caused the injuries, and remember that the officials allowed it all to happen. June 17th couldn't come soon enough. On June 17th, Clark returns from quad injury and is prepared to play the Connecticut Sun again after a convincing victory over the then unbeaten New York Liberty. This was her second game back after 3 weeks off the court, and you can tell she remembers every detail of the previous game by the way she enters the court and the way she looks at the Sun players during warm-ups. The game begins with that familiar tension hanging in the air. Sheldon is protecting Clark as if her life depended on it, getting too close for comfort, shadowing Clark on every possession, bumping her on screens, and doing all the little things that make basketball ugly. This isn't just another game for her. She never texts me during the game. Okay, so here's Clark making a three from way downtown, Kelly escorting her back to the bench, Jacy, and Sheldon is there with her hand in her face. Hurt Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson back in May, and everyone in the arena can sense what's about to happen. Caitlin Clark is speaking to the official, and they're both saying, hey, there's a little extra right there. Uh-oh. Then Marina intervenes to protect Jacy, and the third quarter hits, and this is the moment that makes all the difference. Clark is bringing the ball up court when Sheldon comes over to defend, and she tries what appears to be a steal attempt, but her finger goes straight into Clark's eye. The contact is instantaneous and clear. We're behind by 10 points at the end of the third quarter, and you can see Clark's head snap back from the impact. Jacy's Sheldon Clark is trying to stop her, but she's okay. Clark hit her in the face, and everyone is upset about that. Marina Mabrey enters, decking Clark, and Clark instantly grabs her face. You can see the pain and anger combining as she realizes what just happened, and she's squinting to clear her vision, but you can tell she's thinking about more than just the physical pain. The same player who injured her teammates is now pursuing her using these same dishonest tactics that went unpunished before. Clark does what any competitor would do. She pushes back after being poked in the eye, literally pushing Sheldon away from her. This is a normal reaction when someone pokes their finger into your eye socket, and the crowd erupts because everyone witnesses what actually happened. But the referees are about to make things worse. I mean, is that displacement? And Marina Mabrey is going to get... If the officials noticed that Marina Mabrey was going to be ejected, they would go and take a look at it. I asked her about it, and she said that it wasn't related to the game today. She's always in the mix, and there's a lot of contact here, and the scrape across her face is what Clark didn't like. Clark is standing there holding her eye, obviously the victim of a dangerous play, but the officials are grabbing their whistles, and the arena is humming with confusion and rage as fans point to the replay. Clark just scored 30, 2 points in her first game back from injury, and now she's being penalized for reacting to being eye-poked by the same player who hurt her teammates. All of this sends the wrong message to everyone watching, telling players that they can go after Clark with dangerous plays. The boards clearly show the eye poke that started it all, but the referees have already made up their minds and gave Clark a technical foul for pushing back after getting her eye poked and for defending herself after someone poked her in the eye. She will be punished if she reacts, but this eye poke was only the beginning. Marina Mabrey was watching everything happen and was about to escalate it to a whole new level. As we try to figure out what exactly happened, you see her get hit in the face, which is not to her liking and is not liked by anyone on the team. Marina tries to